Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the Maple Mafia channel.
And on the Maple Mafia channel, we talk about our items that are ending on eBay. Those are ending today between 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9:10 Eastern Standard Time on eBay. You're going to have to check these cool items out we'll be talking about.
Guys, we're brothers Matt and Tim. We run MrMaple.com, but we have this extra channel over here called the Maple Mafia. Now, if you like more content, make sure to subscribe over here. We're going to be doing some low editing, fun content, some lives. I threw on a couple lives when we're unloading trucks from Buckholz and things like that. Guys, we're also going to be doing these breakdowns of things on eBay. So let's get right into it. First off, in tonight, we got Purple Curl in a 3-gallon size. So this is a Buckholz introduction. Amazing plant. Highly sought after. So here's a chance to not only skip the line, but to get something a little bit bigger than you normally find.
And Purple Curl has that curling leaf, that purple color, but it gets this orange, unique, like malting variegation on the inside of it. So much so that Talon wonders if, the closest thing to it is that Magic Moon. And so he's made him look back at Purple Curl and say, does this have Shirasalanum in it like Magic Moon is? But I mean, Purple Curl, amazing plant. It always sells out. This is the very first time we've ever offered a 3-gallon. Mostly every time we've ever offered Purple Curl before, it's been in a 1-gallon.
Really cool. Starts out purple, but then it just kind of morphs. Like you kind of just keep getting this crazy. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for Tim. That was after my time. Tim was a Power Rangers fan. It keeps morphing into something crazier. You start getting this spreading out of the leaf, and you start getting this white and this yellow within the purple, and it's just wild how distorted the leaves are. Again, it's a really rare, unique plant.
All right. Ending also tonight, we've got Abies benchanzuensis. This is one of the rarest conifers in the world. We're talking, there were like 3 of them on like this cliff, and people got cuttings from it, and then somehow at some point they made it to the United States. Y'all, Abies benchanzuensis, these are grafted onto Abies firma. We've got this in a 1-gallon going off this evening.
We got to hit the on firma. On firma. Love it. On firma. One of the ways we're doing a lot of things going forward, makes it even more heat tolerant. Pick this rarity up today. Skip the line. All right, guys, next up, we've got Acer palmatum alba Joe. This one's kind of in that Macawa family for density. Yellowish orange fall color, really unique habit to it. The
leaf's got a nice ruffle to it. Give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun in most climates, but it is one of the most, I guess, it's a Macawa type that you don't see that frequently in the trade. We've tried to offer it on MrMaple before, but y'all found a 1-gallon here for eBay. Next up, y'all, Acer palmatum yellow submarine. This is one of our stock plants we'd cut for signwood, and we said, you know what? We can let one of these go now since we've cut some signwood off of these. It is a sister seedling to Dragon Master.
Yeah, I was on a Beatles kick. I went to the Maple Society meeting in Europe, and I went over to the UK, and I really went down this rabbit hole about George Harrison. He said his favorite thing was collecting over 800 Japanese maples, not being a Beatle. That was his greatest accomplishment in life. So we got a couple Beatles-inspired name trees around that time. Certainly Yellow Submarine, but also Strawberry Fields, one more John Lennon, but still Beatles-inspired names there. Love Yellow Submarine. It's a weeping form, slightly different colors than the Dragon Master, heavily pendulous, gets about as big as you stake it. So if you're going to stake this one up about 5 to 6 feet tall, that's what I recommend. Kind of let it weep down from there.
Next up is Acer palmatum Tom Thumb. This is the Japanese maple that is one of the slowest growing of any of them. A little bit slower growing to me than Tattoo. Ruffled leaf. This is the second time we've offered it on eBay. We've never offered it other than that, maybe once at an open house. Y'all, extremely rare, extremely slow growing. I expect this one, I expect a lot of people to be going after Tom Thumb today.
Great looking plant, really unique. Next up, we've got OG No Sin.
Yeah, an OG No Sin, an Acer Shirasalanum, maybe Acer japonicum. There's some discrepancies on which species it is. It's a full moon Japanese maple with a really nice rounded full moon leaf.
Next up, we got Bazinga. Now, this is Ed Shin's introduction. This is a red Macawa form, really nice, dense habit. The original seedling did come from Buckholz Farm, bought by one of Ed's friends, and then eventually it made its way to Ed's garden. There were 4 of them under evaluation. The best one became Bazinga.
And then next up, we've got Acer oliveranum Hot Tamale, which is a selection from our Heat Seeker series. But this is a 1-gallon XL. That means it's got a lot of size to it. That means it's also going to ship in our medium box. Y'all, Hot Tamale, one of the most heat-tolerant maples I've ever seen in my life. Selection by Mafia, named by us here at Mr. Maple. It just gives you this really nice sort of apricot color in the spring when it first leaves out, then goes to a nice olive green. This is one of the faster growing and one of the most heat tolerant trees I've ever seen.
Love it. Bright pinks, really just displays an amazing display. You can actually get some of that bright pink new growth going on this summer as well.
Guys, next up, we've got Acer palmatum Mitsuba Yatsubusa. We gave one of these in our game show on the Mr. Maple Show. That's right. We've got a couple game shows on our Mr. Maple Show from our open houses. And this is an Acer palmatum. The leaf twists and curls on it. This is a selection from Japan. Not very common in the trade. Extremely rare. I don't know if we've ever actually listed it on Mr. Maple. And here's your chance to get it here on eBay.
All right, guys, Yellow Canary. Don't confuse it with the Yellow Submarine this time. This is the Acer Shirosawdom that Talon Buckholtz named. Highly sought after. Yellow Canary, one of the best Shirosawdoms. It's one of the most hyped Shirosawdoms for sure. A lot of people are after this one. Big yellow foliage. Love it. It's got that more typical Acer Shirosawdom big round leaf to it. I'm impressed with the size of the foliage on this one and the color clarity. It's got great yellow. And
this is perhaps the largest 1 gallon we've ever listed of Yellow Canary on eBay. We've listed it once on Mr. Maple, sold out really quickly. Then we listed it a few times here on eBay, but this is perhaps the biggest 1 gallon we've ever listed. You'll have to check that one out.
All right, guys, next up we got Hot Chicken in a 1 gallon XL. So this is an extra large Hot Chicken. Hot Chicken's a fun one. It's another one that was collected at World Maple Park, this time by Matt and Tim. Masi, when he was alive, he gave us permission to collect some seed on an Acer livianum there in his park. And from that, we were able to get Hot Chicken. Now, it has a sessilifolium, so it has that feathered type leaf structure, kind of playing on the Hot Chicken name. But it also gets a little sauce to it in the early spring. You get a little bit of that red kind of blushing over the tree in the early spring, which is nice.
All right, guys, next up, we've got Acer Shirosawdom Magic Moon. So if you get that purple curl, think about getting that Magic Moon to pair with it because they play off each other really well. The Magic Moon has that more Shirosawdom leaf to it. Green leaves, but it gets a malting yellow in it with a slightly curled leaf to it. It is an amazing Acer Shirosawdom. There's nothing else like it when it comes to the Shirosawdoms. Y'all, Magic Moon, awesome plant.
Area 51 introduction, meaning we named it right here at our nursery. Found by Jonathan Savlich, but Matt and Tim put a name on it. Coming on next, we got another one we put a name on. This one was a seedling my dad had been growing for over 40 years by the time we put a name on it, so it's been around a while. This is Blackbeard's Gold. Now, why this one's fun? Kind of fun because Blackbeard frequented North Carolina, so a little bit of North Carolina heritage going on there too. Blackbeard's Gold, though, is one of the darkest, blackest reds, and then it goes to a golden yellow in the fall. So you kind of get that Blackbeard's Gold effect to it. I think a lot to be said about this one is in the name. People love the name, but it's a great tree as well. Like, the tree is heat tolerant, it's beautiful, and it's going to provide a lot of dark contrast and then go into that gold, that treasure in the spring.
Yeah, I mean,
and in the fall.
There are like Acer palmatum Blackbeard's Gold. It has that more Matsumuri style leaf. And Dad had lots of red Matsumuris in his garden, ones he planted in the 1980s. And this one just stood out because that fall color was so dynamic. A little bit darker red, too, than some of the other ones. Y'all, an amazing golden yellow fall color on Blackbeard's Gold.
All right, coming up next, we got Acer palmatum Columba. Now, this is a new one many probably hadn't seen. This is in that Makawa family. Rarely offered. I think this might be the first time we're listing it here. Might have listed it once before, maybe. First time?
I think it's the first time we've ever listed it.
First time.
And Columba, dense, compact shape, small leaf, green leaves, goes to red in the fall. Definitely, it's almost like a mix between like a Seiho and a Makawa. I mean, you get that very multi-branch coming from the interior. You get tightly layering, and you get those green leaves.
Really cool. Now, next up, we've got a really nice dissectum, guys. Acer palmatum dissectum Marielle. Now, this is a purple bordered lace leaf named after Marielle Eichelman's longtime treasurer of the Maple Society. Great plant. That bold purple border holds really late into the season too, which I like. Extremely pendulous too. So this one has an extreme weeping habit to it.
And guys, next up, we've got Acer oliveranum Hot Sauce. You can get a lot of the heat seekers on eBay today. We got a bunch of them going off. Hot Sauce is the one that everyone was chasing because it is the red Acer oliveranum. It's extremely heat tolerant, holds that red color long throughout the season. Y'all, it's got a leaf almost like a blood good, but it's got those oliveranum genetics, which is that extra superpower, making it more heat tolerant for many of those hotter zones in the south.
This one also in a 1 gallon XL, so great sizes going on there. chance to pick that one up. Now, here's a next level plant probably very little people know about. We recently did a podcast that's going to come out soon called Plants We Rarely Talk About. Now, you have to watch that one to see if this one's in there. Acer palmatum dissectum Judith Ann. This is literally an upright yellow lace leaf. So it's in that cereus lineage, has cereus heritage to it. But you get this glowing effect in the early spring. Kind of like golden threads will have a glow to it. So does Judith Ann.
There's nothing else like this. It is truly upright, just like cereus. I mean, we're talking about a true upright yellow. Give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun in hotter climates, but the sun really brings out that yellow color. So morning sun's going to be best for this. Very vigorous, and that yellow color is undeniable on Judith Ann.
All right, guys, coming in here next, we got another Talon Buchholz introduction. Japonicum Seekers. Here you go. We've got Acer Japonicum Orange Fan. Now, this one will get a blushing of orange in the early spring. So again, some conditions can be a little different. You want a cool spring. I know some areas that are extremely hot and it leaves out really fast. It can skip that some seasons. But if you're in a setting where it's going to leaf out and you can give it some shade, you're going to get some crazy oranges. I recommend early morning sun, late day shade for the best color and the biggest leaf on this one.
Guys, next up, we've got Acer palmatum Dolly Hill. It's been a while since we've offered this. This is a seedling that my grandmother put out in the 1950s. It's kind of the Japanese maple that started it all for her love for Japanese maples, which
and for our business. It's the oldest one at our farm.
Yeah, I mean, it is an old Japanese maple, big red amenum leaves. As it matures, the leaves start to get a little bit of a wave to it, which is really nice. When she had this tree out in her landscape, the landscapers had stopped and offered her $10,000 when it wasn't even as old as it was when we'd saw it. And she said no. And it was just incredible because she could have really used $10,000, but she thought that Japanese maple was worth more to her than that money.
Really cool, really inspired a lot of what we do here at Mr. Maple. Now, last but not least, here we've got Acer palmatum Dracula.
Now, Dracula is an amenum that leaves out in the spring with some amazing colors. It's noted for some really good red fall colors as well. It's been dropped once on Mr. Maple. Here's your chance to grab it on eBay today. Again, all these items are going on from 9 a.m. All these trees are going off today from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 9:10 Eastern Standard Time p.m. Then all these trees are dropping. So make sure you jump in really quickly, grab some of these cool trees. Some of these trees haven't been offered on Mr. Maple or won't be offered for a little while. Yeah, we really appreciate your support. And our eBay store is great, guys. We really appreciated, you guys asking us to do it, but also supporting it. So thanks to everybody that hops in there and does that. A lot of fun plants and kind of a chance to skip the line here. Y'all, thanks so much for jumping in today. Again, check us out on the Maple Mafia on eBay. And if you're not subscribed to us on the Mr. Maple Show, we put out daily content there as well, primarily about Japanese maples and gardening. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel over there. Take care. God bless. Have a great day. Howdy and Whipple. Whipple? Leave that in too. Welcome to the Mr. Maple Show.